everyone, it's Brenda Miller. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time to share with you some of the things that I've been working on, Stampin' Up-wise, and what's all over my desk, etc. So today I have the Celebrate Love Ephemera Pack because I am designing Valentine's Day cards and beyond. Just because they're Valentine's Day doesn't mean that they can't stand for love in other ways, like happy anniversary, even wedding, even just a thank you. So let's go ahead and get started and see what I've got going on. All right. One thing I am going to do is just refresh and see if I can get my comments on Facebook, and I think I've got it. So, all right. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about. So the two-page spread in the mini catalog looks like this, and it is part of the Mix and Match collection. And we've talked about this page before because this is the page that has all the templates. And the whole idea behind the templates is to make card making easy. And by using these ephemera packs, you can create these little elements that go along with the different templates, just using a little creativity. So here are the different options that we have, and what I'm going to focus on are these two over here. The first is the Stripes and Florals Mix and Match cards and envelopes. I'll show you those in a second. And then the Celebrate Love Mix and Match Ephemera Pack. And by using these two elements, plus maybe a few extra things, we're going to create some cards. And these are some of the designs that I'm thinking about using in an upcoming class that I'll be doing for Valentine's Day. That was requested. So here are those cards and envelopes. This pack, which only costs $10, has 10 cards and 10 envelopes. And what's lovely about the cards is they have that subtle but very pretty background. I don't know if you can really see this one on the pink, but there are just little white flowers on there. And then, of course, the light blue, the balmy blue, is just some stripes there. And then it has matching envelopes, which is a very nice touch, especially for special cards that maybe are for Valentine's Day or, an anniversary or something. So we're going to be using some of these to start with. And I'm just going to take my envelopes and put them aside. I am going to use them. So again, you get 10 cards and 10 envelopes for the $10. And then what you can purchase as well is the Celebrate Love Mix and Match Ephemera Pack. It comes like this, and it has 2 sheets of each of these pages, and these are die cuts, so you can see they easily pop out. So if any of you have had a paper pumpkin kit, you would know that you would see these kinds of elements within a paper pumpkin kit. And so it's just kind of like having a paper pumpkin kit with no set designs that you can just play with and use as you please. So I'm just punching out a few elements that maybe I will use on some cards. This one can make a nice focal point on the side of a card, let's say, or we can try to even make a wreath out of it. So we're going to give that a try. And if you search on Google or whatever your search engine is, if you search Stampin' Ephemera Packs or Stampin' Celebrate Love Ephemera Pack, you will find lots of ideas that people put out there, along with any of the ones that I create today, because people like to post them and share their ideas. Check out these hearts. These come apart, so you can see they're laser cut. All of these are. So we've got a little outline there that has some scallops. And we have on the inside, we've got another set. And this can be used as a frame or any other way. And see how pretty that is? Look how dainty these are. So I really wanted to cut out some of these. Check out this little border. I actually was looking for ways that people were using these. And this has like a slit here so you can slide things in or out. Any of these elements you can also color, or if you wanted to, let's say you didn't like, well, we'll show you that in a second, but if you don't like a sentiment, you can flip it over and just use the other side. Here we have some flowers and leaves, and these of course can be colored in. You can use markers, you could use your daubers. It's probably the easiest way to color these. I'm not going to do that today, but I'm really just trying to show you what we have here. But look at these labels. So we've got Be Mine, so obviously very good for Valentine's Day. We've got different Valentine's Day, Happy Valentine's Day. So this allows you to make your Valentine's cards without having to invest in any Valentine's Day stamp sets or inks or anything like that. And some people are going to find that to be very attractive. So I just wanted to make sure I shared it so that you had time to get this if that's something that you wanted to do. We've got kisses over here. We've got XOXO. And we've got a love over here, and I think I'm going to stop there. But you see how easy it is to punch these out. And look at the nice pile of little things I get to play with. So one of the things I think I will do for a class, or if you have a group getting together that wants to make some Valentines together, you could get a couple of packs of these, break them all apart, and then set everybody to it and say, you know, create your own cards out of this. Now, another thing that I did with this was I had the package on purpose here because on the back of the package, it tells you the colors that are used within the designs. So we have Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath, Daffodil Delight, Fresh Freesia, Melon Mambo, Old Olive, Pretty in Pink, and Real Red. And what I did was I created some card bases in those colors. So here we go. We've got the Real Red. I also grabbed some white so that I would have that. Old Olive, Bubble Bath, Melon Mambo. I guess this is the Fresh Freesia. I'm sorry, this is Pretty in Pink, and this is the Bubble Bath, and then Balmy Blue. And that's Daffodil Delight. So you see, I created these card bases, and then what I also did, so I just took one sheet of each of those, and then I also created a layer card. So look at that stack. And from the other half of the sheet of paper, I cut that in half again. And these are all 4 by 5 1/4. And I created some spaces that we could, if we wanted to, stamp on, or we could use an embossing folder on. And I'm not going to do any of that today because I don't want to pull out all that stuff and extend this video any longer than it needs to be. But you can see all the different combinations of things that you can do. So, excuse me, when I do a big class, to invest in all of these cards and envelopes as much as I would like to, that's a little out of the price range of what people want to do. And I do a lot of these just volunteer. So a lot of times I'll just resort to using just plain cardstock like I showed you before. But let's go ahead and create one with these beautiful cards. And I just grab a scoring bone. Give that a nice good crease. Find my scoring bone. It was here last night. Doing a lot of classes lately, but okay, maybe not. My desk is a little bit cluttered. All right, so now we have our card front. So we could look at combining these any way that we desire. So as I was mentioning, I saw somebody make this into kind of like a wreath. And they put it on like so, and perhaps rounded it out a little bit more with maybe one of these. Let's see, maybe let's put that down there. And so I really wanted to try that. It kind of looks like an egg, right? But let's go for it. I'm going to just go ahead and use some glue. Now, to be honest, did not do a lot of thinking and prepping beforehand because I really wanted to see, and for you to see, what it's like to just have the elements in front of you and to play with them to see what you can come up with. So I'm just using some of my wet glue, and I'm just kind of, I mentioned, I'm going to just kind of connect that. And we're going to put that last element here on the bottom. I probably could have put one at the bottom and one at the top, and that would have worked as well. So we have that. It's kind of an oblong, but still pretty wreath. Okay. And the background doesn't take away from it too much. And maybe for this one, we can just add something like this. We want to do it there. Do we want to do it here? And maybe just using some dimensionals, we could add something. So this, okay, did not come out as I envisioned, but I'm going to go with it for now. So you can easily create cards that have elements, and maybe I would go back and get some ribbon that matched and add to it. But that has just a nice feel, and that is like card number 1. So we'll do that. Let's grab one of the bubble bath sheets. We'll give that a nice crease with my fingernail since the scoring bone appears to be missing. And let's see, let's take some of our hearts. One of the things I really like is that the hearts can layer. So what if we took some of these, I have me working on my glass mat here, so a little bit hard. And remember, I said before, you could vary, so see how this heart fits inside of there? It could also go inside of here, or we could continue linking them. One thing I like to do is to link them. All you have to do is give a little snip with a pair of scissors, and you can connect these super easily, like so. And there you have the connection there, and we'll just cover that up. And let's see, maybe I would just leave that, and you could make this a love card, something like that. So let's see how we would do that. We could just flip it over, and you want them to stay together and be able to move them around a little bit. So I think I had this one over here. We'll just use a little dots of glue. Dink and dink, very little. And you can really just play with these and make them into anything you want. And I'm not the most creative when it comes to this kind of stuff, you know, just playing around. I more, as you know, stick with things like templates that just helps me visualize. And so this isn't necessarily my thing, but I could easily see combining these with some of my templates. But again, I wanted to share with you how this can work. And you see, I just need to get this under here. Lift that up, slide that under. But I do like to connect hearts for something like a wedding card or an anniversary card. Gosh, I am making this way harder than it needed to be. So, okay, anyway, we get our hearts laid down like that. And maybe I would put a little flower or a bow made with ribbon. And I think instead of the love, it's kind of getting lost on here. It's very, very pale. I might do a Happy Valentine's Day on this. Quick and easy. And I know that some of the people that'll be coming to my class, my Valentine's Day class, they are going to like to do these really simple and easy cards. They've never stamped before. They're not that into it, but you know, they're getting together for a meeting. And at that meeting, they wanted to create some Valentines. So here we go. I'm going to put a little bow there with some ribbon that I'm going to add to it at another time. What I wanted to show you with these hearts and the other layer, so I'm going to take one of those layers that I cut, and I'm going to take what was on the inside, and look what you can do. You can then add that to your heart. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll add a little bit of teeny dots of glue. And again, I'm using glue for this because it allows me to shift it around a little bit. You know, I'm really not a big fan of glue, but when it comes to stuff like this, any of this laser cut stuff, I do find that it is a little bit more forgiving. It lets me line it up nicely. Look at that. So now we have a brand new element that looks super pretty. Now there are also other ephemera packs that you can look at, and they can also mix and match. There's a birthday one, and that will give you some more layers like that. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So we've got that, and let's go ahead. I was kind of telling you about this little element, and we could put it down and then slide this in or slide another one in. I do like overlapping things. I feel like that makes a big difference. So we've got this is real red, this heart. So does it necessarily go with this? This is pretty in pink. Let's pull out a bubble bath instead and see if that looks a little bit better. All right, let's try that. And that lets it stand out a little bit more, so we can just create our focal point right in the center, and that's kind of what I've been doing. You could also do lots of different things like that. So let's put these two in here. Unlike me to do two, but I'm going to put that like that. And I think I'm going to add a Be Mine, and I'm just kind of working with the little pieces that I've got on my desk. So you can certainly spiff this up a little bit. Maybe we could even create another layer here, and that's not going to stand out very well. So maybe just put it like that. Maybe I would make this into a square with my paper cutter, which I don't have right here. I usually do. But let's go ahead and just add this, and then I'm going to sign off, because I really want you to be able to know that you can play with this and do any number of different things with it. Let's see. Maybe I really want to use this because I think this is really pretty, but I don't think I've found the right place for it. So if I do kind of that same idea as before, and creating just in the center of my card like this. Again, I like to overlap it, give it a little bit of continuity. I'm not really sure this is working, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, so let's just get this going. We'll put a little piece little dimensional on the back of the red heart. And I'm going to do the same on the back of the layered heart that we created ourselves, like that. Put that on a jaunty angle, and then we'll let this come down here. So we have three elements to kind of try to give it balance. So the three elements would be the label, the heart, and the two hearts. And then what I would do is I would take this and put this onto another card base, and maybe we will use the real red, just because that's the same color as one of the hearts. And you put that together, and again, I probably would have used a dry embossing folder for the back of this to give it a little bit more interest, and I'm just going to use my regular adhesive and put this down onto my card front. I also might choose to stamp a little bit on the outside, but if I didn't want to, I could just leave it as such. Maybe I would have made that a little straighter. I can see that that's not quite straight, but anyway, those are just a few very quick and easy cards. Again, I was just trying to share with you so that you could see the different kinds of things that you could do and some of the things that I'm working on. And if you have any questions, I would love to chat with you. But I'll be back again next week with another project. So thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye now.